Yo, 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 yo.
Dynamic speaking. Dynamically speaking. Catch out sleeping, growing in what you're reaping. As I sow in what it'll go just in Aquarius. Hydrodynamically speaking. Catch out sleeping, growing in what you're reaping. As I flow in what it'll go just in Aquarius. Moisture seals that flow like wind blow. This is a breeze so simple, sprinkle natural mist with mistake. Then you can catch these droplets of space like vapor. I can't wait to precipitate. Rapid rainfall floods the city gates, so litigate. Laws of nature flow from the Arctic past the equator. Say the words that immerse the universe with water. This outburst gets worse, it's a starter. Slaughter, you swimming in shoes made of mortar. Stuck in the aqueduct with no border. Shorter breath, got you breathing.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I'm Mr. Batch. I'm here. You're there. Soon there'll be a phone number up on your screen because you've tuned in. And I would love for you to dial in. This is another installment of the In the Neighborhood program, which comes to you every Thursday morning live at 10 a.m. Like I told my friend Ron, tell your moms to tune in to me every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. because I'm more fun than Wayne Brady because she knows me. Talking about no, I want to shout out the lady on the 39 bus who I had a conversation with the other day. You know who you are. I forgot to ask you your name. You're the one with the grandchild, which is in their second year at Columbia, and you're also the lady who has the the daughter that graduated from John Jay. And I'd like you to thank you for saying hello to me and how you like the show. I also want to holler at Gertie, Rob, Mo, because Mo, you're killing me, because that hair color that you got in your hair is to die for a girlfriend. I'm serious. This one young lady I know, she's got a nice blonde hair color, and boom, it's just, and I'm jealous because I got to get a touch up. Who else I want to holler at? My man Easy Hunt. Brother, yo, good looking, man. Nice conversating with you, man. You straight up, brother. I love you for that. Who else? I think I'll come up with anybody else somewhere down the line, somewhere, And of course, I got to say what's up to the people who I normally see when I come here in the studio to do my live program on a Thursday. And that's Josue, Gwyneth, Diane, and of course, Paula, the young lady who is in charge of Master Control, making sure that this goes out over the airwaves so the viewing public can get a chance to watch this program. All righty then. It's great to be here once again on the In the Neighborhood show. I just love doing this. I get a great kick out of a lot of you folks who greet me and say they like the show, and I'm doing a good job. Thank you. I'm going to try and keep it moving. We're at the next level of live television because, as you know, starting July 3rd, Top Talent Competition, we are doing our own version of American Idol and Star Search live here in the Bronx. We're making history, and I want you folks out there to be part of it. At the back of the show, you'll see a phone number and address. I want you to get in touch with the crew here because we're gonna have an audition. We're gonna have another audition. So we're gonna have another audition, another open audition for the Top Talent Competition. Open audition for the Top Talent Competition. Lady Morsab is going to come with some information of where this location is going to be and from what times. And I want you folks to come down because we've got several slots already locked up. We'd like to fill up the last remaining slots and have a couple on reserve just in case of unforeseen circumstances beyond our control. Is that good, Joe? That's good. Beyond our circumstances, beyond our control. All right, I've gabbed just enough. All right, folks, I've said just enough because I can only take but so much of me sometimes. That's why we have a whole bunch of people come on the show so that you can get to talk to them. And you see the phone number. Why don't y'all call because I want to hear what you got to say because I want to talk about stupid tickets again. My friends was telling me about the lady with the 3 kids and the little cocoa thing and 5-0 rolled up on her and hit her with a summons. You know what I mean? Like, all right. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to be joined in the studio with Professor Hetty A. Fox. She's the founder and executive director of New York Kids Foundation. and she is a Bronx bred, reared. Am I correct?
Harlem born, Bronx reared.
Okay, then.
On the same block since 3 years old.
All right, pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. This is some pretty heady stuff here that you've been undertaking over the last 30 years in this New York Kids Foundation. Can you speak a little bit on that for the viewing public out there, please?
Absolutely. It's extremely essential that New York City begin to invest in its future. And any neighborhood is like a village. It's the place where we, as New York children, have a chance to grow and to develop and to find out who we are. It's essential that we try our best to keep neighborhood life strong and healthy, and family life as well, of course, particularly, because that's the core of all economy. I find that as a New Yorker on the same block since 3 years old, that I may be rare. And there should be hundreds of us living on the same block, passing knowledge on to the next generation, helping with the development of those children. They're little geniuses all over the place.
All of them, every last one of them.
Every
last one of them.
And we're not doing as good a job as we should as a leading international city. So this is basically what drives me to want to see the little champions and excellence that should be running things in New York City.
They should be. They should be.
Keeping things together.
These kids today are very, they're quick-witted.
Yes.
Their comprehension level is, I mean, way up there.
Fantastic.
I'm talking about 5th graders.
Yes.
You know, those at that age, I mean, these kids is on it. Would you attribute that to some of the information age, how it has blown up now? For these kids? Has it helped them?
In many ways, but New York has always been a fast-moving town. I've seen about 6 New Yorks in my lifetime. I mean, and it's not good for us not to make an effort to have some sustainable way to keep a certain stability. You see, there's constancy of change anyway. We have like 200 languages being spoken here. I'm teaching kids how to count in 11 languages. I teach them in Russian, Zulu, Arabic, French, German, Japanese, Spanish, Chinese, Korean, Hebrew, Urdu. The children are very bright. And the least they need to know is how to run their city in the future, since it is an international city. And that's the fabulous part of New York.
That's the great thing about this. I mean, like I said before on one of my other programs, this city has just about every... You hear the little kids? The kids are here. Well, I'm going to have my godson take over the show come this summer. But we have one person just about from every nationality on this planet here in this city. We're also joined in the studio with my co-host, Lady Morsab. Lady Morsab, is there anything you'd like to ask Ms. Fox concerning the New York City Kids Foundation and how it helps the youth here in the Bronx and how she likes doing it? How long are you going to keep doing it? I'm sorry.
Well, it's a matter of being home. You see, we have this impression, and it's being constantly reinforced, and I guess I'll give you a minute to ask that question. But we have this impression that we're supposed to get out, and we're being taught that from grade 1.
Right.
I think it's the most economically devastating policy I've ever heard of in my life. Right. How do you chase people away? Then they have the other part of the policy, give something back. Well, this is ridiculous. Number one, if you're really home, what are you thinking about removing yourself physically, emotionally, mentally from that place, and then you want to throw a bone back? No, no, no.
That's right.
New York has a different level of responsibility in the world. We're supposed to be leaders.
That's right.
So it's not as though we're supposed to run away, especially after half our parents came here from half the world anyway.
That's true.
So why would we being taught? Why are we being taught from grade 1 that we should aspire outward? You see, it's not bad to go out and visit. I was away 8.5 years in California. And then I came back in 1970, and when I saw things were going crazy, I just jumped in with both feet. And I said, this is my home. This is where I played Ring Olivio and Hot Peas and Butter and, you know, got scars in my knees and Double Dutch. So if whoever I am, I became that because of that early neighborhood life. So this is why I feel it's important that we give the next generation of New Yorkers a chance to understand the importance of where they're born. This is no accident.
No, no.
You know?
If you're here in this borough,
I think that's really wonderful. You know, that's very admirable. As a matter of fact, you know, I feel very much the same way. What I'd like to know is, are there any special requirements for children to be a part of this organization?
No. I started the programs that we have almost immediately. The first layer was to try to keep the housing intact, because we're located in that Fort Apache area, which lost the most housing in the United States history.
Right.
So it was a frightening battle. It's almost, when I first came back from California, I was shocked. I had no idea what was going on or why, and who are the fighters? Why aren't we guarding home base here?
Exactly.
So I got moving, and it did take a lot of people involved. Many, unfortunately, are dead now. I mean, those people that worked hard, came out to the meetings every week to try to rescue the buildings so that we could keep the physical integrity of the block intact. It's a nice little one-way street, etc. So we started really with saving housing. It took me about 11 years to get 2 buildings renovated back so 50 families could have a home.
Right.
It took several years to stop the evictions of other families and work with those families to keep them there, work with the city, try to let them know we're serious about trying to make a home here.
Right.
You know, and you should not be trying to just throw people out when it's the city that might be doing more.
It's interesting what you're saying, because,
yes.
you know, when you just hear the name of the organization, you may think that, well, you know, this just pertains to children, but you're talking about a base for the children, because this is where it starts at. It starts at home. If a child does not have a stable home, then they can't be expected to function like a normal citizen.
Yes, yes.
And people don't realize that. How's the funding going? Where's it coming from?
It's not. I usually walk door to door. Sometimes over 17 years, I've walked through the entire city. And I've walked into about 30,000 different places, leaving my literature, speaking with the owners. And that's when I learned that 90% of the people that I spoke with are from another country. So we don't even have a city where at least 30, 40%, 50% of the businesses are in the hands of those who actually grew up here.
That's right.
Which helps to anchor the dollar in the city. So as a dollar is spent, it's leaving town.
That's right.
Very often leaving the country the same night.
That's right.
So we don't have resources allocated to keep the neighborhood strong.
Right.
And then those dollars that the neighborhood does spend are being removed. And I mean, there are so many complexities to why it is we don't have adequate funding. First of all, is this presumption that we're not supposed to be here. So, you know, when you start, when you start teaching kids to get out, I mean, that's crazy. So we have a lot of people in positions of authority, supposedly authority, but they're not responsible because they keep making decisions that keep pushing away the very basis of economy, which is that bottom layer. You see, so we need to have more businessmen. That's why the languages. People need to know how to do business with the whole world that's coming in.
Well, when you think about it, outside of the United States, a lot of children are taught foreign languages in schools as they're growing up.
Exactly.
You know, it's not different. It's not strange for a child from Europe or probably from the West Indies or from Central or South America to speak 2 or 3 languages. That's not what we have here for our kids. You know, and I think if we were to teach our kids a little bit more that, like how you're doing, I think they would have a little bit more respect for some other cultures, and there'll be a little bit much better avenue of communications. I see you have here a couple of booklets pertaining to that stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, this is Neighborhood Rules of Order.
Let me see.
And the children have done artwork in the back. I must say, I'm also an artist. I'm also a dancer. My hip is bothering me these days, but I've taught African, Arabic, Latin, Indian dance. And I'm a jazz musician as well. I play drums. I play with Ornette Coleman, Don Cherry, Archie Shepp. So in the back of the book is artwork done by children. We try to have an art exhibit every year. Basically, it's just a very simple book. Rather than an extensive text on the things that one might do, I tried to boil it all down to basics. Get a good night's sleep, eat fruits and vegetables, understand that if you're born here in New York City, it's not by accident that you're on a mission. I mean, those are the first few lines. So I think, I think it's important that children know how important they are in the whole scale of things about the whole world scene today. New York kids are really almost automatic ambassadors. They already are exposed to every language.
Because you think about it, anytime they go anywhere, they can pick our kids out.
Absolutely.
They're from New York.
Absolutely. And we know that when we travel. You see, we get a reaction to us when they heard that you're from New York. You know, people knew that in California just by the fact that I walked fast or we solved problems wholly instantly, you know, rather than taking a week. And
that New York Minute thing?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you know, we just have to synthesize, and that's the power of the city, and we should go with that power rather than, you know, trying to curtail it. This is the other booklet that I wrote called Jealousy Be Gone. And I think that some of the complications of jealousy that emerge even from African slavery. I mean, the problems with color and things of this kind are so ridiculous. We're one family. We're all exactly the same DNA. We all originate in Africa, every one of us.
That's right.
And I mean, this is scientific knowledge now. And we need to bury the hatchet on the nonsense. So this is just my way of pointing out some of the things that jealousy causes. And I dedicated it to Princess Diana because I thought this is the most ironic victim of jealousy.
Exactly.
A person that you would think would be, you know, like sitting on top of the world with no problems.
I'm glad you said that, you know, because just in speaking and referring to what Mr. Batch said about the children of other countries speaking more than one language, we don't even, it's just recently that we're being taught our own history.
Oh, yes.
You know, it's a shame that we've been alienated so long away from the truth. You know, we've been given someone else's history or made up history, fabricated history, and now it's just now that we're learning. And now we are so liberated that we allow our children to drop out of school before they learn anything, and it's acceptable. You know, and that's a shame.
But you know what kills me though? If I'm correct, New York State's law on the books is that they only guarantee us an 8th grade education.
Yes, I think that's
an 8th grade education.
Yeah.
Now, to me, if I was a lawmaker, I'd love to change that.
Yes.
Why don't I bring the standard up instead of having Mayor Bloomberg try and take over and then do all of this stuff? But if it's not mandated so that we can have federal regulation, they could care less, because Pataki played hostage with the money before he got elected. I didn't like that. I really thought that it was a slap in the face for those people who's like, see what I did? You got the money for education. Man, they had to sue you for that money. Then you let it go and then see what I did for the city?
Yeah.
The shell game. Well, so I commend you on what you do to assist these kids, and with this foundation. It's a long, arduous job, man.
Well, I think we have to be in a constant process of developing ourselves.
Yes.
It's the sharing of what we do to kind of seek a certain perfection level that allows us to share what we do with children.
Right.
So it's not like you're dedicating yourself only to children. It's like you're moving along at a continuum. And we are part of a continuum of many thousands who have come before us and many thousands, well, millions that are going after us.
That's right.
So we have a responsibility to develop our own skills and activities and arts and creativity as well.
Yes.
And the children need to see us in the process of that development. You see? Because then they pick up the courage to say, oh, well, what is it that I can do? And it causes them to explore a little bit more and understand that they are a unique person themselves.
That's right.
They have to be developing their skills and their creativity. So all we can do is just give them courage, but we need to be involved in what we are supposed to be doing on this planet ourselves.
You know, there was a young man that called in last week, and his phone call, you know, it really sat with me. I mean, it really struck a nerve. And the gentleman was kind of perturbed because he said that basically rap music and basketball is what's taking over. What they don't realize is where we need to get involved and stay involved and push and work together, we don't. And so those that fall by the wayside, you have to recapture them. And so you use any vehicle necessary in order to get their attention. And I wish that they would understand that because we haven't done what we should do, we have to do what we're doing now.
Yeah, yeah.
On that note, I want you folks to call up, pick up that phone, dial us. I'd like you to have a dialogue here with the Professor Hetty Fox here. Ask us some questions. What are your comments or your views about what we're supposed to do? Because I say this is what we are supposed to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, we're supposed to do this. We have to do this.
Definitely.
You know, I want to hear from you folks out there. You see the phone number up on your screen? You've tuned in. I'd like you to dial in and speak to Professor Hetty Fox from the New York Kids Foundation concerning our youth today and how we can move forward to better our community. You know, it's a small world because, you know, as a youth, I grew up on 165th and Fail Street.
Wow, I know that area very well.
I grew up there.
Yes.
And
beautiful houses.
Well, you know what? I was there so long ago. Those houses weren't there. I was there when they used to have the 6-story high-rises.
Oh, yes.
And
oh, wait a minute. Further down Fail.
No.
Right part of Fail where they have
right
beautiful two-family houses.
That's it. No. Where those two-family houses are
yeah.
is where my apartment building used to stand.
Well, these aren't new ones. I thought these were being renovated.
Right, no, right there, you know, you come off of Westchester Square, Westchester Avenue, and one block down, and you come into Fail Street, right there on the corner.
Right,
I used to live in a high 6-story apartment building, then they burnt it down.
Oh, see.
That was when they was burning the Bronx.
Yes. Oh, I know.
That's when they were
I know. I had to fight
the Bronx.
Yes.
I mean, everywhere you turned, these guys was cashing in that insurance on these buildings.
Yes, they were.
They didn't want the people to keep paying that rent because they was only going to get but so much money.
Right.
And you know, you're locked into your lease, and then you had to go there. And these guys is like, I'm going to get my money by burning the place down.
Yes.
And leaving it desolate. Yeah. So.
That made me fight so hard. I mean, it was incredible. And, all right.
Okay, we've got a phone call. Are you there? This is Mr. Batch.
Oh, got disconnected.
Got disconnected.
Oh, try again.
Okay, we'd like to hear from you. This is some, come on this program, we try to cover everything because this is a very eclectic show. We cover everything from soup to nuts because that's what we're about here in New York.
He's there.
He's there. You're there. I'm here. Who's there?
Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello?
How you doing? Mr. Batch, who's there?
Yeah, my name is Robert Brown.
How you doing, Mr. Brown?
All right, I'm doing okay.
What part of the Bronx you calling from?
I'm right next to Bronx Community College on 179th and Andrews. I'm not sure the area. But anyway,
what's your comment?
I'm talking about the education of the black youth in the school today. See, the first problem is we put a dollar sign before education. If you take the dollar sign away from it and educate everyone, we'd be doing much better, all right? Our kids are never going to be taught by people who never wanted to educate us. If we, the black people, educate our own children, then we'll be far more better off. But everybody want to be rich and wear diamonds and pearls. We have to stop this ideology. We have to start teaching our kids correctly, and we have to do it ourselves. We can't depend on someone else to do it. We scream about, oh, we can't educate because of books. Put the black dollars together and buy books. Get black printers to print books. All right? We looking for help from somewhere it's not coming from. We have to help ourselves. God help those who help themselves. Remember this. We all need to remember this. But no, we're looking for it to come from somewhere it's not coming from. That's all I have to say.
That's just a pretty profound brother there. He spoke from the heart. My brother, do you have any kids?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and their ages, if you don't mind if I ask?
My youngest is 4. I have a 21-year-old daughter and an 18-year-old son.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
All right, and to all you dads out there, happy Father's Day. It seems to me that you're a very concerned father and you take pride in making sure that your kids are well schooled. Am I correct?
I try to.
Okay.
I try to, but like I said, when they leave out of here, they go into another man's hand. And if this man's not teaching them what they need to be taught, then they're going to be lost. See, my wife is a teacher, right, and they fought so hard to get her out of the Board of Ed because she was loved by her students, and she made sure that her students were taught. But when they saw this, they figured, no, she's not what we want. We want somebody who's going to go along with the program. And we, as black people, we have to stop going along with their program.
You know why? Because we have some of our black people who are in charge, and they want to play like the HNIC and want to rain on somebody's parade who I would call the people's champion. Your wife is like the people's champion. You feel me, bro?
I feel you.
And then there's probably a person of color, her supervisor, want to hold her down.
Yeah, but see, if we hold each other accountable, point the finger at the ones that we see doing wrong. If we see a black man doing wrong, let all black men know this is not the black man you need to be following.
Word.
Mr. Sharpton is trying to get in office. We as black people been waiting for a black man to get in office for so long. And we laugh at we joke about it. Oh, Sharpton's never going to get there. Why? Because we're not standing behind him.
That's
if
tough.
we put him in office and hold him accountable, we can get what we need. This is their biggest fear. They're laughing at the fact that we're laughing. But if we want to educate our kids, put somebody in office who has the same needs and goals that we have. These people don't care. They care about their riches.
Dollars. My brother, I'm going to let you bounce. Anybody you want to holler at before you go?
Black people, wake up.
Stay blessed. Peace.
Amen. God bless.
All right. Joe, I believe I have another phone.
Yes,
when the show comes on.
Yes, Mr. Batch.
Oh, yeah, I'm Mr. Batch. But for that last phone caller, I've just been given a cue that I'm supposed to say, the program comes on every Thursday at 10 a.m. on Channel 68. We're live each and every week, and every time you tune in, you're making history right here in the Bronx on a live television program unlike anything else here in the city. Is that good, Joe?
That was good.
Okay, then. Who's the phone call I got?
Okay.
Mr. Batch?
Yes.
Yes, I called last week. I'm one of the brothers that called last week. This is the big boss man.
The big boss man.
Yeah, the big boss man. How
What
you
you
say, brother? I love you and to your darling lady there. You know
Lady
what I'm talking
Mossad.
about. Like I said last week, I'll say next week and the week after, the hostess with the mostest. And to the
God bless you.
To the professor, I love you, dear, and I'm behind you. But the problems that we have in society, brother. You see, I'm from back in the days. I'm from the '60s. Okay, I am the '60s, and very proud of it. And the thing about it is the fact that, you know, we had tendency to lose as a people to understanding is that our children are our responsibility. You know, we have a bad habit of dumping our responsibilities in other people's lap, and that's not the way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Our children need to be educated by us. Not to say that other people don't have anything to offer. Don't get me wrong. You know, it's not like that. But what I'm saying is that, first of all, we want to elevate our children to the next level. It's our responsibility to do that. You know what I'm saying? For them to explain, in other words, if I'm a black man, it's up to me as a black man that have experienced life and gone through life to explain to other young black men what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? That's my responsibility.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I have kids, and I have a little surrogate son that I, adopted so much that I'm staying in him. You know, he's 35 years old, and I'm keeping him on the road of the straight and narrow. I got him speaking to Reverend Al and whatnot to elevate his awareness. You know what I'm saying?
No, I commend you.
You need to do, brother.
I commend you.
How can well, it's not that I'm sounding prejudiced. I don't mean it in that way.
No, it's not that you're prejudiced. It's just that you're pro-black.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with being pro-black.
Thank you.
Every other ethnicity is pro whatever they are, which does not mean that makes you a discriminatory or anything like that. If you are black and you pro-black, there's nothing wrong with that, and hold your head up high because I'm pro-black.
That's why I love you. You know, that's why I love you. Because I live in a Spanish neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? And I have nothing against them, you know what I'm saying? I see the Puerto Rican flags flying all over the place. I see the Dominican flags flying all over the place. But wait a minute, what happened to our red, black, and green? What happened?
The red, black, and green, the red, black, what happened, y'all? What happened is that red, black, and green flag was almost like a carte blanche card for police to pull us over. And that comes from the days of black power, black empowerment.
Right.
We used to fly our colors. We were proud and still proud as our Spanish brothers out there, as they fly their flags also. And I have no problems with that.
But what I'm saying, brother, now like I said, I told you how far I go back. I have, in fact, one day you got to come to my crib. We gonna rap. I could blow your mind. What I'm saying, I remember back in the days, and I have the albums when James Brown said, "Say it loud, we black and proud." Like I said, I'm gonna say it again.
All right. Hold on. Before you go on, is there a question or a comment you have for Professor Hetty Fox from the New York Kids Foundation for what she's doing this work in the community?
No, darling, what it is, I don't have any questions. I don't have any questions. She's trying to do the right thing, and we need to, and like the other brother said, we need to band behind our people who we feel are doing the right thing. Now, I'm gonna give you. Let me say this, brother, before I sign off.
Okay.
One thing about the other man, and you know what I'm saying about the other man, he'll push these Uncle Toms in our face. You know what I'm saying? Like Uncle Colin Powell, you know what I'm saying? And Aunt Candelisa Rice, pushing them up in our face, thinking that if he push them in our face long enough, we'll accept them. I ain't accepting nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now, you don't push Reverend Al. You know what I'm saying? You remember our people who we identify with. Why you gonna push these Toms?
They see, well, they're part of their camp. You know something? I don't call them Toms. I just figured that they chose the side they want to play on.
Well, brother.
You know what I'm saying? They chose the side they want to play on. I'm down on this team.
Well, I tell you what. You know, I'll put it this way. All right, we won't call them Toms, brother. We call them house Negroes.
Oh, man. He went there. He went there.
And brother.
You know something? I'm going to give you this tidbit. You know his son is in charge of the FCC.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
And if you know now, right, the FCC has did some deregulations. So that means the people with the money and the power are going to own the newspapers, the radios, and the TVs. That means that they're going to control the information that gets out to us. But you know what? That's why I'm here.
They're going to monitor the information that comes out here. That's why you are so important, brother, because we need alternatives. We need realistic alternatives. That's what America was all about. You had a right to pick and choose. If you wanted the mainstream, fine. But you were also supposed to have an alternative.
That's right.
Both sides, and then you weigh out which way you want to go.
That's right. You make the decision after you get in all the information.
That was freedom, and that was democracy, and that was originally America. But I mean, they ain't like that, no, brother. And I keep repeating myself, but I want to say, why aren't you?
Well, brother, I'm going to let you bounce. Who you want to holler at?
All the brothers and sisters out here in the struggle, brother. And you and your beautiful hostess with the most, Professor, I love you, and I hope to meet you one day in person, and so we can sit down and just have a rap session, brother.
Yeah, we're going to do that sometime. All right, stay blessed, my brother. Peace.
Have a blessed day, likewise.
All right.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah,
Do you have a comment?
Yeah, very interesting. The caller mentioned the 60s. I'm very much an integral part of the 60s. On the coast, when we were fighting for Black Studies programs, I mean, for a whole African American Studies department so that people will have a chance to graduate with a degree in African American Studies.
Interesting.
My uncle is James Ingram Fox. He's a composer, has been writing classical music in Harlem since 1928. He was the foreman of the Panther 21 trial, where Afeni Shakur, Tupac, I mean, not Tupac, that was her son.
Yeah, her son.
Sorry,
Her
she
mom.
just had that little baby there.
Tupac's mom.
Yeah, Tupac's mom and her sister, Afeni, and so on. That was my uncle who was the foreman of that jury that they got 156 not guilties. That was the longest criminal trial in New York State history. And my uncle and my dad were all a part of the African Academy of Arts and Sciences in Harlem in the 1940s. My dad taught me my first African dances when I was 3 years old. And it's just been a part of our whole outlook, our whole culture. And this is part of what we need to pass on to the youngsters, that they are totally unique and that the experience that they go through in school is not a definition of who they are. Right. It's just another experience to acquire some of the skills to negotiate some of these curves. But we need to, in fact, revamp the entire education system.
Come on.
You know, I designed a whole new system. I said, to heck with this.
Look, you know something?
I designed a whole new system. I said, forget this.
This system has been in the dump since I've been in grade school.
Oh, yes.
When I went to 75.
Yes.
I went to PS 75
All right.
there. And I got a call. Man,
All right.
I can't go there. All right, that's good. I'm glad we've got phone callers because I get up. Hello, phone caller, are you there? Mr. Batch is here.
Good morning, Mr. Batch. This is Ronald Anderson from College Avenue.
And how you doing today?
All right. The Professor Fox, the
Yes.
lady there, I think you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
We need people like you, Mr. Batch and Lady Saab, to reach out, like you were saying earlier. People with higher standards or standards of positive need to stand out because the system is going crazy today.
Yes.
They just had the news. They just fired some Bronx teachers, messing with the kids. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. You know, but you know, I get tired of seeing. We need to just push together and start going to City Hall and ask what we want. You know, because I'm from the old school. I'm back in the days in Queens when they had James Brown. You know, Jack in the Box, Benson,
all right,
and all that stuff. You know, I'm from the old school.
Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
DJ Flash, Hollywood, all them people. You know. But
and Hollywood, DJ Hollywood?
Huh?
And DJ Hollywood, you said?
Yeah, I grew up with all that. DJ
oh,
Hollywood,
man, so
Flash.
you old school.
Yeah, from the old school.
Okay.
One of us.
So, I'm 41.
Okay.
You know, but I watch this show, your show, Mr. Batch, because I learned a lot of positive stuff, you know.
Thank you.
And we all today trying to wake up in the morning and say, thank God for the life in the air and the life that we breathe.
True that.
But there's so much going on. When is it going to stop?
Well,
she might have an answer for you.
I'll tell you, it's you know, the systems as they exist today have really reached a point of diminishing returns. And in mathematics, once you've reached that point, you need to just revamp everything.
There you go.
I define PhDs as people who learn more and more about less and less. They just totally disappear if they leave your neighborhood.
That's right.
Higher kids go, the more they don't ever return to home.
That's right.
Our concept of home here in New York City is very tough to maintain, even though as African people, we know Africa's paying the bill for the entire world today. France, Germany, England, all of them. Everybody's dipping into
that continent is what's feeding this world. Speaking of math, I was on a bus not too long ago, and I heard some high school kids complaining about how they switched up the math curriculum. They were pissed because it seems as if they had to take this one test, and then next year there's going to be a different curriculum to take another test. Now, why are they doing that to our children? Do you have any idea? Well,
they're taking up a lot of our children's time. And the bottom line is that we're not inheriting a $1 trillion city that is supposed to be in our hands as children of New York. When I see how fast the dollars never come back into our neighborhoods, and we're educating kids to get out, then I see, what is the mathematics involved here? What curriculum could we possibly be teaching that results in not having any ownership of business or ownership of homes, ownership of our apartments, some way to anchor that we are New Yorkers and we should be in charge.
Okay, call it. Are you still there?
Yes.
All right.
Well, she said everything right there, but you know, we need to just, if we ain't getting no money from the city, we got to start putting our own money together.
See, the bottom line is that we need to press the politicians who you elected, because there is federal funding. There is city, state, and federal funding. Also, there are a lot of grants from private organizations which are funneled back into these municipalities and such. We need to stay on top of them, and then separate from that, we go do our thing.
Yeah, well, we need a lot, because even the principals right now, they want to start a principals academy, and all these corporations are putting in something like $30 million. Meanwhile, parents are running around with PTA fundraisers to buy things for their classrooms. I said, this is nuts. The principals are already trained. 30 more minutes. They're finding excuses to put money in each other's pockets.
Someplace else. Do you have any kids?
I have one kid.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Yes.
I got to tell you, Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
I'm going to let you bounce. Do you have a last comment? Anybody you want to shout at?
I'm going to shout out to In the Neighborhood. Thursday,
Very
10
good.
o'clock a.m. in the morning.
All right. A loyal viewer. Joe, we've got a loyal viewer. And tell everybody to watch. You know what I'm saying? Keep having everybody to watch, my brother. You stay blessed.
Bye-bye.
You know, I just want to say something. I've been sitting here, and I'm telling you, I've been chomping at the bit, 'cause I'm dying to get in there. The thing with me is that I feel that there has been a whole breakdown in the American blacks. You understand? There was a whole generation or two that have been totally out of bounds. And now everything is all out of whack, and we come and we want to put a Band-Aid on a broken arm. And it's not going to work.
No.
All these people who got out there, who got misled, who went to drugs or whatever the case may be, who are locked up in the system for years and years and years, the point is they're not present. And so the Board of Education has been allowed to put whatever they want into the minds of our children. Now these children have grown up and born more children, and they still have not learned anything, and now they have created another generation, and now we're going to take this generation and we're going to push ahead, and we're going to say, okay, this is the future. You got a future of illiterates. You have a future of people who don't know anything. They don't know where to begin. Not only don't they know their history, they don't know where they are, they don't know what their rights are. A lot of us do not know what our rights are.
Some of them just don't have no etiquette either.
We get abused. How you going to get it? Where you going to get it from?
They have no etiquette, no manners, no scruples, no nothing. It's all about that.
Have you ever heard the parents speak to the children? You should hear the language that the parents use in speaking to the children. These children speak back what they hear.
I know.
You understand what I'm saying? And now we turn around. It's time to redo things. We have to rebuild. We have to go all the way back. Those children that were out there that were lost, they have to be re-educated. They have to be reintroduced into the system properly. You understand what I'm saying? We've been rendered incapacitated because of what's been going on. We sat back too long. Nobody wanted to watch out for their neighbor's child. Back in the day, let me tell you something. If I went down the street and I turned the corner, I was going to turn that corner, my neighbor beat me, my mama beat me, my daddy got home, he beat me. You understand what I'm saying? But people will tell you, no, that's not my problem. That's not my child. But no, that is your child, because you yourself do not make a village. One thing I admire, Hillary Clinton said, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it does.
You know, that's ancient African stuff.
She acknowledged it. That's it. We don't even acknowledge it. It takes more than just you to raise a child.
Absolutely.
And in order for anything to be done, any reparations to be made, we're going to have to come together and look out for one another and one another's children.
Yes, we have to totally realign all of these things that are happening. We have to take a lot of responsibility to use the democratic process to introduce the kinds of laws that stop forcing us to give our tax dollars to pay to arrest all these children.
Okay, and let me run off a couple of things here, which your New York Kids Foundation is involved in. Right? It says our 30-year family enterprise program, after school program, summer play street program, adult entrepreneurship program, prisoner re-entry program, that's key right there, emergency homeless shelter program, and neighborhood preservation program. And all these programs underneath the New York Kids Foundation needs your support. You understand? It's ladies like Professor Hetty A, homegrown, from here, stayed here, didn't break out. Just like how some of you rap kids, y'all want to get bling bling. Yo, as soon as I get it, I'm getting my Escalade, I'm getting my dubs, and I'm out. That's why you get stuck up when you come back in the hood, because everybody's jealous because you broke out. Where you going? What you running for? You go out to the suburbs and guess what? They're about ready to burn a cross on your front lawn.
All right.
5-0 is waiting for when your friends and family come up on the weekend just for a barbecue and they get stopped. Duh. Figure it out.
You know, I want to make an appeal.
I'm sorry.
He gets excited. We're going to calm him down. But I want to say to you, not just the organizations, not just the businessmen, you as individuals can call in, get in contact, and find out what it is that you can do to help with the situation.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Joe, are we almost ready? Because I'd like to show a couple of photographs of some children.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's
That's
show
from our Christmas party.
This is from the Christmas party. Okay.
And I hope people from neighborhoods all over the city will call. You know, I mean, we have New York children all over the place that are equally disenfranchised.
That's right.
I mean, whether their parents are from Greece, Russia, Poland, Germany, Senegal, Ghana, Nigeria. I mean, we just have more and more New York kids that need to have backup. That's the list of the 11 languages on the wall that we teach the children how to count.
The 11 languages.
That's right. That's right against the wall. The other wall has the list of 186 African tribes.
Okay, what do we have?
Those are the 20 pizzas that we have.
Pizza party, you know I love pizza party.
Christmas parties for kids 1 to 12. They get a gift if you're over 12. That's Valentin Vasiliu from Romania. He was an opera singer who came and sang for the children.
Oh, beautiful.
Right there.
That's what we're talking about.
You see, that's the number of gifts that we had this year.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
And it took us all night to wrap them.
That's worth it.
Yes. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. And these are some of the children that came to the party.
They look. Oh, that's great.
You know, we're not rich, so we just have maybe one or two gifts and pizza, and that's about it. You know, if you're over 12, and a lot of kids want to be 12 when the Christmas party comes around. Over 12, you have to help out now.
Oh, okay, good. Hey, that's fair. That's fair.
Over 12, you bring a pizza.
But the Play Street is coming up. We need volunteers to help with that. Sometimes it's if they want to give us a call. At least that's the next program that's going to be starting.
Wonderful.
We close off the street every day, no cars, for all July and August.
Wonderful.
And that's the 27th year.
I'm glad you got that, because I just read in the paper that City Hall is trying to cut down on those permits.
Yeah, well, luckily, that's for the street permits, I think. But luckily, the Play Street is a petition that's a block petition. If you live on a one-way residential street here in the city of New York, anywhere, and has no businesses, no bus route, no parking meters, and you petition through your planning board in April, and then you circulate the petition, and the police department has to also sign, the planning board, etc. And if it's approved and your street has no dangerous conditions of some type, then usually the Department of Traffic will deliver you your Play Street sign at the end of June. And then you close down the street, no cars, no full through traffic, every day, July and August. Beautiful. So I like
Daylight
to teach.
Hours.
That's right. We used to have it 8 to 8, which was fabulous, because then when the parents came home, they threw the kids off the volleyball court. Okay, we're playing now. I love that. I love that. The kids are
That's it. We missed that.
but still, they can watch their moms and dads play. But so it kept family life more emphatic.
Exactly.
And that's the core. I mean, this is what's happening now. These agencies have gotten totally out of control. They forget who they're answerable to. They eliminate the parents.
That's right.
And they degrade the parental role.
Oh my goodness!
That's right.
It is so. In some of these city agencies, it's so degrading to some of these the parents that they have to give. It's so dehumanizing. I can see why they flip a gasket. I can see why they bug out. I can see why they want to jump across their counter. I can see why they got mad security in all these places. Because the people they're understaffed, underpaid, and there's not enough money in the budget, and there's not enough all the programs that would. You know something I've noticed over the years, any program that was doing good, guess what? That one got the funding cut first.
Well, I'm really thankful that my own resolve as a New York woman is that we have to do these things Whether we get funds or not, that's not the point. Your life is involved in the teaching of culture if you're an African woman.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
So you have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do it. And I'm born here. So this is where I have to do it.
That's right.
You see, it's not like I can travel around and say, oh, isn't that nice how they're treating kids? Yeah. And then come home and realize, why aren't we doing it here?
There you go.
You know, we have to do that. That's what the 60s was all about, awakening us to the responsibilities and knowing our culture. If you come to my center, you can see that list of 186 African tribes, like Wolof, Tukula, Sida, Diola, Mandingo, Baga, Malinke, Sarahole, Kasanke.
You said how many?
Hell,
186.
It should be 1,000. I had a small list. Should be 1,000 names
you know
on
something? I
that
didn't know
list.
that.
Listen, if we were born in Africa, we'd speak 20 languages easily.
That's right.
Easily. A lot of people are shocked, you know, if they take a cab and the driver is from Ghana, or maybe he's Hausa, maybe he's Fulani, you know, maybe he's Wolof, you know, and they're very shocked if I can say thank you, like Jerry Jeff or Jaramo in Fulani, or Nagodi is thank you in Hausa.
Wow.
You know, Madasi is thank you in Ashanti. So I know how to say thank you in about 30 languages.
That's why children have so much time to get in trouble. They need to learn some more. They need some more education.
They do, because I think with the lack of knowledge of other cultures and whatnot, they have somewhat of a disrespect, which is...
Because they fear what they don't know, and so they make fun of it.
Yeah.
And they ridicule.
Yes,
Yeah.
and if you introduce them to some of these things early, they come towards it rather than run away from it.
Exactly.
Okay, we've got a phone caller. Phone caller, are you there?
Rasheen,
Hey, yo, what's happening, bro? How you been?
I'm alright.
Yeah, yo, I got the horn last night, but yo, I went out last night and I didn't have something that agreed with me. I hate to impart that on you folks out here.
He's sharing.
So what's up, brother? What's your comments or anything like that?
I love this topic that you're talking about, you know? Because that's what I basically try to do, focus on the kids, the babies out there, you know?
Yeah, you've talked to me about your little basketball thing that you got going on for the kids. You run a basketball tournament. I commend you, Rasheen.
You need to get in contact with this lady.
You know, because it seems like I take away from my kids to try to do for the community because they need, you know, but when you see the, you know what I mean, and you see the reaction that they get, or, you know, the love that they get, it feels good, you know, and we need to do that more, because I don't want to see them go down the drain like we did. So I want to, when we going to get in a group together, so we could talk about how we could do it, not just in each individual community, but we got to do it together, you know?
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. Rasheen, you said you're a father?
Yeah, I got 3 or 4.
Okay.
Ooh-wee.
Happy Father's Day, my brother.
Yes.
I love my community, you know?
That's the way you do it. You sound...
I don't got no money, so I want to know how can I, you know what I mean, help get funded, you know what I mean, so I can do some things. Or,
You know what I need? You know, I'm glad you said, you know what I need to do later on, stuff? I need to get in touch with somebody who's talks about fundraising or something like that for organizations, and have them come on the show.
I have the perfect
I think we have to effort that. Is that right, Joe?
Got that right.
I'm the perfect person for you. Already out there.
Because, you know, it's... What can you do?
You know, we're trying to do all these separate little things. Why can't we all come together and just get the funding for one big program to do everything we need to do?
No, it's going to have to be well thought out. We have too many crowds.
Well, I mean, for the children. I'm saying for the children.
I'm for the kids. You know, I'm like,
the
hey,
New York Kids
ODB?
Foundation.
No, you can't say that.
Yeah.
It's Dirt McGirt. I'm for the kids. Remember that? You ran up on stage.
Wu-Tang is for the children.
But I like that. For the Kids Foundation, everybody that we have that's participating, doing something on their own, why can't we all get together?
Well, we
okay.
do, yeah.
Rasheen, anything else you got to say before I let you bounce?
Yeah, just tell me when we could meet up and we could do something for the kids.
Yo, oh man, for the kids. All right, Rasheen, I'm going to rap to you a little bit later.
All right?
1.
Peace.
All right. Now, boop, 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 boop. That's right. This is a live television program. This is the In the Neighborhood Show, which comes on every Thursday at 10 a.m. on Channel 68. And the repeat broadcast is at 5 p.m. on Sundays until they cancel me. That's why we're here, folks. We're giving you alternative programming. That's right. Like I tell my friend Ron to tell your moms, hey, tune in to me every Thursday at 10 a.m. because I'm more fun than Wayne Brady because you know me. All right, then. Now, without further ado, we've got our sports information director, Mr. Martin Cruz. Take it away, Martin. Yay!
Before I get into sports, though, there was one thing you guys mentioned about the FCC and the deregulation of that companies can own newspapers,
Yes,
radio,
yes.
and TV stations.
Yes.
I think it's a bad idea too. And what's worse is that what's going to end up happening is that like 5, 10, maybe 5 to 10 companies are going to own like 80-90% of
the media.
The media.
Wow.
And there's going to be less and less, free speech. So that's why, things like public access TV is even more important than ever.
That's right.
So
Well
think
said,
about
Marty.
it that way.
All right.
Getting into sports.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on.
The Nets.
Yes, the New Jersey Nets. I said last week that I think they could win in 6. As of last night, my prediction is still alive. That's all I'm gonna say for now.
All right, Marty.
Yeah, of course. Last night the Nets had a 15-point lead and they almost blew it.
Marty, I was kind of upset that they blew that lead. It came down to I think they had tied it up, and then it became a very half-court type battle. It's not the strong suit of the Nets. They're much more of an up and down team, but they were able to handle that half-court set with the help of Dikembe Mutombo.
He had a big rebound with about 30 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, and I didn't get a chance to watch the game because I was on my way home, but I got to listen to the game. And basically what they all said on the radio broadcasts, because I listened to both the New York and the national broadcast, that Dikembe Mutombo was huge. He had he pretty much neutralized Tim Duncan as much as he could, considering that he hasn't played much. Duncan had his game anyway, pretty much. Game high of 23 points and 13 rebounds, but it wasn't a huge game.
No, it wasn't. They was running at him with double teams. They brought Dikembe Mutombo out early to check him. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine before the series started, and I said Byron Scott would be remiss or a fool if he didn't play Dikembe Mutombo.
Absolutely.
I just like to say that.
And I think Byron Scott learned his lesson because Game 3. He could have used he could have used Dikembe, and it ends up that he didn't play at all, and the Nets lost. They played a terrible game. So did San Antonio. San Antonio only won by 5.
Yeah.
So when you consider, the Nets could have played a lot better after Game 3. And they could have used Dikembe for Game 3. They decided to use him in Game 4, and look what happened.
Yeah, but Marty, if I'm correct, since they've gone to the 2-3-2 format, the home team that's gone for the 3 games at home has never swept at home. Am I correct?
Everyone has said that, Yeah, it is correct. I was thinking, like in the '88 finals, because the Pistons and the Lakers went the full distance to 7 games.
Yeah.
And I thought Detroit won 3 games, the 3 games in Detroit, but that wasn't the case. I think they split the first 2 in L.A. L.A. won either Game 3 or Game 4, but Detroit won 2 of the 3 home games. And then, the Lakers win in overtime in Game 6 and then eventually won the championship that year and their repeat, the second straight championship. A couple other things to keep, to switch subjects. Last night's Yankee game, an unbelievable first. Got a little something to show you straight off the headlines from the New York Daily News.
Oh, snap, that's right.
Yes.
That is right. Oh, that's right.
Of course, it also gives spin to the question: how many pitches does it take to no-hit the Yankees? 6 in this case. But the funny thing though was that unlike most other no-hitters, this was like really subdued because half the Astros, it seemed, didn't know that there was a no-hitter. It basically was. How
many pitches they used? They used what?
They used 6
pitches.
They had but they did out of necessity because the starting pitcher Roy Oswalt left the game 2 pitches into the second inning with a pulled groin muscle. So the Astros had to go to the bullpen. Another, not that it's a big deal, but a major league record was tied in the 8th inning when Octavio Dotel struck out 4 batters in the 8th.
Octavio Dotel. What did he used to play at?
He used to play with the Mets.
Okay.
He was traded to the Astros in the Mike Hampton trade before the 2000 season.
Okay. Speaking of the Mets, what's the story on Pedro Estacio?
Oh, that's...
So he's going to go under the knife and be season-ending surgery?
It's possible. I haven't heard one way or another whether or not it is true, but he is on the disabled list. I don't know if he's going to pitch again this season, but at least, you know, it's not, put it this way, it's not like the Mets are going to be like in a pennant race anytime soon. If they do, it'll be a miracle.
Okay, let's go to the Stanley Cup champions.
New Jersey Devils, which, by the way, yeah, Monday they won the Cup. They beat Anaheim in 7 in a series that all the home team won every game, and that hasn't happened since 1965. And last night's net game...
That's a long time.
By the way, last night's net game, a couple of Devils made their appearance with the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup made a second appearance at the Meadowlands in 3 days. Before the fourth quarter, Scott Stevens, the Devils captain, brought out the Stanley Cup, and I guess it gave net fans some
motivation, some gumption. Hey, didn't Mark Messier do that? No, Messier didn't do that with the Rangers to the Knicks, did he?
No.
That never happened with us out here. We don't do that kind of stuff here in New York. To tell you the truth, that Meadowlands crowd for that net game was kind of dead. They were sitting on their hands. Kenya Martin had to damn near scream.
And the interesting thing, too, was that with about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Bruce Willis took the microphone and pretty much like rallied the fans, in support of the Nets.
And you know something? He was wearing a Yankee hat and a Nets due to the fact that they're part of that conglomerate. And you know what's another thing would piss me off? I watched the halftime show with KC and the Sunshine Band, and they had a bad shot. They had a shot of KC and empty seats. I've never seen that in a finals game. There's something wrong in the middle. If they move to Newark, I don't blame them.
Well, first off, the game was sold out, so chances are it was just fans that were, hungry, out of the seats, getting the food for the halftime. Besides, I am not crazy about the musical guests for halftime. In the NBA Finals, it's like they're trying to add more than what it was supposed to be.
Interesting, Marty. Interesting.
I'm not crazy about it at all.
Okay, the big horse race to go out with.
The Belmont Stakes. Unfortunately, Sunnyside did not get the Triple Crown as everyone had hoped. But he's still the greatest gelding to ever race.
Yo, I'm telling you, I watched the race. He came out of the blocks real quick. The horse led, which normally isn't right for him to lead. But we're just about ready to wrap up.
Pretty much.
Okay, Marty, you're going to come back. Hopefully your prediction will hold up.
I think so.
And you'll be saying that the Nets are the champions. All
That's
right.
what I was saying.
All right, I'm going to catch up with you. We've got a few things here that we've got to kick with you folks. Of course, you know the Top Talent Competition. Do we have a place for an audition?
We do have a place. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to give it out yet. They can call the number and we'll be able to
I'm going to tell you what. By 5 p.m. this evening, call the number at the back end, and in that voicemail, you will hear where to come for the open auditions next week, right?
Right.
Next week for the Top Talent Competition. Oh, I had so much fun trying to rattle this stuff off. The Top Talent Competition, which starts airing July 3rd here on Channel 68 on the In the Neighborhood program live, where you get to vote for your favorite talent here, just like American Idol and Star Search live. You'll tune in and make history along with us. All right. Audition for leads in a feature film. You've got Seeking Basketball Players, men's ages 18 to 28, all ethnicities for lead roles in the Universal Pictures film The Rucker, directed by Malcolm Lee, Undercover Brother and the Best Man. Open audition June 13, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Basketball City, Pier 63. That's 23rd Street and West Side Highway. I'd like to thank Professor Hetty A for joining us.
so much for having
me. You see her information in the screen. I want you folks to support her. I'm bringing her back on a regular basis. You feel me? Top Talent Competition, auditions for the lead. That's June 13th, Basketball City, 10 to 7 p.m., Pier 63. Lady Mossab, you got anything else to add on top of that?
I just want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers and to all the single mothers out there. Happy Father's Day to you, too.
Yes.
That's right. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Absolutely. Professor Fox, thank you for coming.
Nice
you got to come back.
Wonderful.
You got to bless me, darling.
I will.
All right. Joe?
All right.
I'm out of here like I stole something. Peace.
I mean, it sort of contradicts you all the things I just said. This is that poem that wants to know how come you never see the politicians that run the city until it's time to vote. That's when they come to a local black church and smile in your face and laugh behind your back. How you done got the Holy Ghost. That's what out your perm from underneath your Sunday hat. And this is the poem that wants to know what was the Holy Ghost when Kunta Kinte was getting his feet chopped off? Where was the Holy Ghost when Con Edison sent that late notice and you? What was the? Oh my God. And this is that poem that said, what was the Holy Ghost from Con Edison sent that final cutoff notice and your scented candles were used to dilute the stench of last night's sex fest that you call the rent party. And this is that grits and gravy type poetry. This is that poetry that taught me how to stretch my eggs with a little bit of milk, stretch my milk with a little bit of water, and stretch my water with a little bit of sugar. This is